Hey, welcome to Nicole Social Hub. So YouTube, today's podcast episode is what I would do differently if I was to restart over my handbag brand. So with that being said, let's get into today's podcast episode. So what I would do differently if I was to restart my handbag business again. So I would have definitely started off small in the beginning instead of purchasing all this inventory up front without building a community. The next thing I would have done is purchase a lower quantity per unit of my handbags, and I would have invested in selling wallets instead of investing in handbags. I would have started off small and selling wallets first, and then build my way back to selling, investing in a large unit of my handbags. The next thing I would do is learning how to save and budget my business costs by investing in lower cost prices, like the things that some of the profit margins that you have to take into play is business software tools, packaging, marketing materials, shipping costs, working with brand influencers to market your business, your handbag business. Also, it's a lot that takes into place when running a physical product business, and it can be very overwhelming. So sometimes it's okay to not have custom packaging and all this fancy stuff in the beginning. Start off with your wins and then upgrade every time you hit a milestone in your business. So before I get even further into this podcast episode, if I haven't introduced myself, let me just go ahead and introduce myself. Welcome to Nicole Social Hub. Nicole Social Hub is a place for business owners who can learn, just different all things business, like how basically I'm showing you all the behind the scenes of how I'm running my YouTube channel, how I'm running my handbag business, how I'm starting digital products, print on demand, and so much more. So it's a lot of things that like I said, it's a lot of business things. So I'm taking you on my podcast, on my business journey, using my podcast to just bring you along with me on my business journey. So also we have a YouTube channel as well, which is our graphic design software business industry that we are creating content for. So we just started our YouTube series. So we have how to create your YouTube banner in Canva, how to create a YouTube intro in Canva, and also how to add music, how to find and add music using SoundCloud for your YouTube channel. So all those videos are now uploaded on my YouTube channel, and we also have a podcast YouTube video series guide on how to get started with podcasting as well. So all those links will be in the description box below as well. But that's just what this podcast is about. And we do have a second podcast as well, which is called, I'm trying to remember it because I haven't been podcasting in a while. But it's a mental health podcast, which will be centered around self-care, faith, and a little bit about business, but it really will be about mental health, self-care, and wellness. So that's our second podcast. So after I finish recording this podcast episode, I'm going to go ahead and record a mental health podcast. And that one is basically where I'm at spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally, like where I'm at like currently in my life. So that's what I'm going to say with that, but that's what the podcast episode is going to be about. So I will link my second podcast show in the show notes in the show notes links below as well. But that podcast was actually created as a brief or an example on how to start a podcast for our YouTube channel. But I'm considering, I just decided to make that as my second podcast. So I'm really excited. Also, before we get back into the podcast episode, not a lot. I also created podcast commercials as well. So you will, if you haven't already, if I haven't already put some commercials in here, you will hear our commercials that we made ourselves. And comment down below, let me know how you think about our commercials, and just engage and so much more. So yeah, I just thought I would put that in there, just some housekeeping things, and just put that in there as well, and just share more about who I am and what the podcast is about. So with that being said, let's get back into what I would do differently if I was to start a handbag brand over again. So so also we just went over, like, the next thing I would do is learning how to save and budget my business costs by investing in lower cost prices like business software tools, packaging, marketing materials, shipping costs, working with brand influencers. So yeah, honestly, this day and age, it's really hard to get a physical online product based business off the ground. It's not as trendy to start a business as it once have been, and if you haven't built a know, like, and trust factor in your business, then it will be hard to get and make consistent sales in your business. And also too, you have to know the direction of your brand and business, which can be a lot and overwhelming. So it's a lot when it comes to running a physical product business. And I feel like when the online, I feel like the online stores were starting to jump off when around the COVID, I want to say that, but like that era, 2019, 2020, when that came into play. And now I feel as though, things are a little bit back to normal. Well, not for my life, but for society, outside world, things are back to normal. And I feel like it's not as easy as it once was, and to start a business, but it still can be done, and we're going to get into that as well. So the next thing I would have done is invest in lower cost software instead of investing in Shopify, which is way more expensive than like Big Cartel. Big Cartel is only $10 per month. So like, if you're not a big business yet, then Shopify may not be the website platform you want to host your products on in the beginning. But the goal is to start off small in the beginning. The goal is to start off small, with your business. So, like, I wish I would have just hosted my products back on Big Cartel and started that way. So I'm in the process. I'm making this podcast episode because I'm in the process of restarting my handbag business. It's just I'm trying to figure. It's just a lot of things spiritually going on with me too, and I will include a little bit about that. But that will be on my mental health podcast. But I'm in the midst of restarting my handbag business, and just seeing where that goes again. So this time, all these tips that I'm sharing, all these tips that I'm sharing, I am going to be now incorporating these things that I would do differently. So since I am restarting my handbag business, these are the things that I am going to do differently going forward. So yeah. So lastly, I wouldn't have gave up on my business like I did in the beginning, and I feel like I would have been way further than I am now. But that's another story for another time. But now I have all this unsold inventory sitting in the home, and I'm just not sure what to do with it yet. Like, I know what to do with it, but I don't know what direction I really want to go with my brand. And I did make a little bit of marketing ideas and marketing campaigns for my business, my handbag brand. And I'm just going to give you this because I know it's hard coming up with marketing ideas and marketing campaigns and ideas, and it could get overwhelming trying to create a marketing strategy for your business. So my theme was tea party theme. Now that's it. I do want to say this too. It was going to be what's tea. So my handbag brand was going to be centered around a tea party. So like, what's really tea, sis? Like, that was the theme of, that's going to be the theme of my website, my marketing online, social media and stuff. But I don't know. I feel like I'm just still not in the headspace of really putting my full into marketing, but I'm so tired of seeing my inventory just sitting so long. So yeah, I'm just trying to figure that out, and also doing faceless marketing because I don't want to be the front and center of my brand. I don't want my face to be the front and center of my brand like it was once have. And I noticed, like, when you put the product, not saying in the face of your audience, but when you are making the product the face of the business, it tends to do, I feel like it tends to do a lot better than when you are the face of your brand. But you still do want to build the know, like, and trust factor with, showing up and showing your face and stuff like that. But you don't have to. You could be a faceless handbag brand that still can be able to market online. So I'm going to take you throughout that journey, and I'm also going to make another podcast episode what it's like to actually be a faceless content creator, and am I enjoying the process, and what is a faceless content creator, what am I making, what am I creating, just more stuff like that. But yeah, stay tuned for more, and why I switched my niche from self-care to graphic design and business software. So just stay tuned for more podcast episodes. I'm just getting back in the flow of things. Also, another mental health podcast episode is I've been in and out of the mental hospital. So that has been like pushing me back to with my content. So yeah, it's just been a lot, and I'm trying to just get back to it slow, like not slowly, but like just be more consistent how I was, like, so I could build, back up. So yeah, and after I'm finished recording this podcast, I'm gonna go ahead and create a carousel so I could post on there, because my carousels has been doing good. So I'm gonna stick with carousels on my social media platforms, and yeah, it's just gonna be a full breakdown too. I started a new self-care. I'm just getting off a topic, a little bit of ADHD in me, but yeah. Anyway, let's get back on topic. So where I was at. So yeah, I wouldn't have gave up on my business like I did. Like, I just felt like I just gave up on multiple things, being into my mental health, and also just the capital of like keeping the flow, the upfront flow of my business. And like, you gotta really take into shipping a product, packaging, and just all the things that we mentioned before that really does, eat up your profit margin cost. So, but this time I had a lot of time while I was in the mental hospital, really had a lot of time to think about my business, think about the direction, think about just marketing campaigns and ideas and podcasts. All these ideas were just so flowing. But the moment I get back here, it's like my ideas, it's like everything, it's not like a fog, but it's like nothing is coming to me like it once had. But when I was in that hospital, like the ideas were just flowing, like, I don't know. But yeah. Anyway, I wouldn't have gave up. I felt like I gave up on myself. I gave up on my business. Other things that I didn't take account to as well is I did start an LLC. I still have my LLC, but I have no idea what to do with my LLC, and the legalizing my business, and the amount of paperwork, and just the stress of legalizing my business overall. So I still have my LLC, but I'm in the process. I have to restart. I know it's been over a year since I had my LLC, so I have to probably restart my LLC. If I still get paperwork from my LLC. It's just, I don't know why. Like, I know I had so many ideas of just getting business grants and just so many things that I wanted to do with my LLC. But I guess, like, like some people are scared to fail. I actually am. I feel like I keep sabotaging my own success. Like, I feel like I am scared to succeed, because this is not just a job where, okay, yeah, you get this promotion, you already know the flow of things, and you know how that promotion is going to go. But when you are, succeed in a business, it's like a different level of success that kind of scares you. And if your dreams don't scare you, you know what I'm saying? Are you thinking big enough? You know what I'm saying? But I really do feel like maybe I'm sabotaging myself, and I'm scared of my own success, because everything is on you. Like, everything you do with your business is left on you. So that is scary, and you are the one that had to generate. Well, even if you had to go to work every day, you still had to generate your own money too. So it's just different. It's just a lot too. So yeah. So I legalized my business, have a LLC, been sitting on my LLC, don't know what to do with it, never really got business advice about what to do with my LLC. And it's just so much online fluff, not online fluff, but it's just like it's so much overwhelming information that I haven't even took action, because it's just like I don't even know what direction, like I said, what I want to do, or what direction I even want to go in, too. So but I would say this though. Now, if my YouTube channel, I'm trying to build back up my YouTube channel like I did with my self-care content. I'm telling you, my shower content vlogs was baby. Like, it was my bread and butter. Last year, I was doing better last year than I'm doing currently this year. But last year, I had a shower content, channel, but it just was bringing unwanted attention, and I just felt like it wasn't pleasing God, and it's just a lot of different things. So I kind of like got so many convictions of just like closing that channel out, and now restarting my channel over. Do you know how hard it is to restart a channel over from scratch? It's like you want to pull out hair, so yeah. But other things I would do differently too is I would also create a full brand mood board and brand kit for my business to help me to stay on track with my business when it comes to marketing my business online. You want consistent branding throughout all of your media platforms. So the reason why having a full brand mood board and brand kit for your business is because you're going to see when you are in a industry, a physical product based business industry, you're going to see better handbag businesses than you, or something similar to your brand, and you compare your business to someone else's business. They might be on year 10 and you're still on year 1, year 2 or so, and you're comparing yourself. Now you want to change out all your colors. You want to get a new logo. You want to do all these different things because you trying to not copy, but it's like you're trying to like make your brand like their brand. But you can't do that because you don't know what direction, or you really don't know the inside of their business. So it's really important to stay on brand. It don't matter how much you will compare yourself. A brand mood board and a brand kit, a full brand and I think I'm gonna make a podcast on a full and brand kit and what goes into it. It's not just about your brand colors, your brand fonts. It's your brand voice. It's your branding emails. It's how you talk. Your copy. Your copy. How your copy is written format, text, or like your social media posts, YouTube, whatever. Your marketing copy. What is your marketing copy? What do you want to relay? It's just so much more that goes into branding. So I feel like I will probably make a full handbag business branding checklist on the branding essentials that you need for a handbag business. So it's a lot that goes in with branding, and it helps you to stay consistent with your own branding. And when you stay consistent with your own branding, you are able to build the know, like, and trust factor, because every time that they see your logo, every time that they see your colors, every time that they see your voice or hear your voice or your marketing copy, they will get to know your brand. It's just the same way with any big business, Target, Walmart, all these different like brands like Marshalls, or I don't know, I'm just naming off stuff, but like they built a brand, and their brand, and when you go to the stores, you're not going to see a different name on the building. You're not going to see a different logo on the building. Every time you go to a retail store, you're going to see the same format, the same setup, and each store, each whatever branch you go to, you're going to see the same kind of format and same kind of branding and the same kind of like atmosphere in that brand. So it's the same way with online too. You may not have a brick and mortar, but your online house is your brick and mortar for your online too. So yeah, and your website definitely plays a major role. Like if your website banners are not hitting, but if your website banners are not given, I'm telling you, you will lose you could lose audience that way, because you want to have crisp. That's another thing I didn't mention as well, is website branding. Your website branding has to really be crisp, and that's another reason I like gave up on my business too, is because I wanted to do like each marketing campaigns. I at least wanted to have a budget for photo shoots, and really like, and since I know how to do graphic design and all that, I know how to do my own branding. But I wanted to, do photo shoots. Even if I don't have a photographer, I wanted to go, rent out a studio, and I know how to take my own photography photos. If you didn't know, I went to an art school in high school, so all this stuff that I'm doing now, I was doing this back in '08. Like yeah, I went to architecture and design high school, and it was basically like we were learning college level material in high school. And unfortunately, that high school did close down. That was one of the best schools ever. Like and I really learned how to draw. We were learning like, interior design. Always wanted to be I always wanted to be an interior designer. And I missed out on the opportunity of and they had different internships, college level internships. And I wanted to go to New York with my team, not my team, but my class. My class, they went to an internship for interior designer in New York. But I just felt like it was just a lot of problems too. But I don't want to get into it. But my dream was to always be an interior designer. So when you see my brand, I'm always including like home office, home body. My stationery business is giving off home decor books, like, but you could still use them as journals and notebooks. So I like interior designer just always like caught my eye. So that's what I originally wanted to be, an interior designer. Because I'm a homebody. Like I do like to be at home. But yeah, but anyway, let's get back to these gems. But we was doing fashion photo. Like my school that I was in, we was doing fashion. We did our own runways. We designed our own clothes. Like, I mean, I'm telling you, like poetry, singing, writing, fashion. We did a little bit of engineering, architecture. Like it was just a lot. Like arc. It's not indoor and outdoor, exterior and interior architecture. So yeah, it was just I just wanted to fill you in, because and it's okay if you feel inspired and you want to do it, and you may not have experience, but I'm just sharing with you a little bit of my experience and why I'm so into art, and like just like anything that's creative. Like I don't care if it's writing, like music, whatever it is. I'm just, oh yeah, we was making music beats. We had made music beats for I forgot, for a company too. Singular, if y'all remember way back, Singular had these it was a cell phone company called Singular, and we made ringtone beats for Singular. I mean, they didn't choose all of our beats, but if you had the best beat, we were making ringtone beats. It was just a lot of stuff that we did. So when we were, and that school was like on a college level school. So yeah, but anyway, where I was at. So yeah, you definitely, again, I would definitely suggest you, I know I got off a little topic, but I will also create a full brand mood board and brand kit for my business to help me stay on track with my business branding. So definitely, you don't want to compare yourself and keep changing your brand colors and fonts and all of this, and then it's like, oh well, You know, what if you decided one day you go to Target, and next thing you know, well, they is changing up their brand colors, but next thing you know, it's a whole totally different color than the one that you know you so used to seeing. You know what I'm saying? Or just different things like that too. So yeah. All right, next I would have created a marketing strategy and marketing campaigns to really advertise and sell my products. But first, before I even start talking about marketing campaigns and a marketing strategy, I would definitely build a community first who is also engaged with your content and your brand and your products. So you have to stay consistent. With building your audience. So also you have to have a consistent marketing campaigns for your business to be able to sell as well. But before you start selling, here is the strategy I would have used. So these are bullet points that I made myself. So figuring out who your target audience is and who you're selling to. What's your unique selling proposition? What is your business product edge? What do you bring different than any other handbag business? What do your audience like and don't like? Think of questions to ask your audience. Think of questions to ask. Think of questions to ask your audience, like where would they wear this outfit to? What color best match this handbag? This or that. Before and after. Like, have fun with your content, because if you're into fashion, then the goal is to bring your own unique creativity. Also, where do they shop at? What restaurants do they like to go out to? What different outings and ideas? And if you don't know, then start creating content for them to get to like going out to these places, like date night, art museum, sip and paint, solo date night, etc. Think of different outings ideas that you know your audience will be interested in going. Also, next bullet point: what type of income do they make? Are you a luxury handbag business, or are you a budget friendly, or are you for the budget friendly girlies that that all comes into pricing as well. Also, figuring out your pricing and profit margins plays a big factor and all of the things we mentioned before, like software tools, packaging, marketing materials, and etc., all comes into your price and margin. And sometimes you will break even, or or even sometimes you may not make a profit when you're first just starting out, because the goal is to start. But you could still, it's ways to get to make a profit. But in order to make a profit, you have to, sometimes you might wind up breaking even. And most times new businesses always break even the first or second, third year of their business. They're always breaking even, but but their business is generating income. So it's all about profit and loss, and just all this different stuff that I'm learning. It's a lot. It is a lot. Also, before I start talk about price and margins, I do want to add to knowing your product. I didn't add this in here. Knowing your product. You want to make sure that you know your product inside and out. Also, when it comes to vendors, you need to know your. I'm telling you, your customers will ask you They will ask you the sizing of your handbag. They will ask you what the material, inside and outside. Is it fake leather, patent leather, like vegan leather, whatever fur, whatever. They will ask you about the material. They will ask about the even down to the specifics of the design. Is it debossed and embossed? Is the inside interior, what kind of, is it silk or polyester or whatever? Not whatever, but the hand strap. What's the measurements for the hand strap if you do have a hand strap for your handbag? Just so many different things. Like really delicate details too. Like this is more so for a luxury brand. Like if I'm going to Louis Vuitton, yeah, I'm gonna be asking about this, that, whatever. I mean, I don't shop at Louis Vuitton or Gucci. I'm more of a like a Steve Madden coach. Like, the reason why I really started my business is I love Coach, and I always wanted a Coach bag. And baby, don't be surprised if you still see me, getting Coach and stuff like that too. But I'm just saying, oh, excuse me, I'm just saying, like, um I love the brand Coach, and I kind of got the inspiration of Coach, but the only thing that was missing was, I felt like I didn't really see a lot of black girls, like, in their content. I mean, you did, it's diverse, but I wanted a Coach vibe, black girl, budget friendly, but still on a luxury side, if you get it. Like, cause Coach, it's not too much, and it's not giving Louis Vuitton prices, but it's like, oh, all right, cool, bad. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you get what I'm saying, like, it's like, all right, like, yeah, I'll spend $100 on that, a Coach handbag. And I know that their prices are more than $100, but it's not so much as like a Louis Vuitton or Gucci. Like, I just don't feel like, to spend so much on a product. Even myself, like, if I'm a shopper, I go to Ross, Marshalls, Burlington, all that, and I definitely can see my handbag being in Burlington for $34.99. Like, let's get that. Like, yes, $34.99. Yeah, you still getting the luxe, budget friendly. You know what I'm saying? But still, like, on the luxury side though. Like, it's like, and my thing is, just because you may be budget friendly for like the audience that shop at Ross, Burlington, may not shop at Louis Vuitton and Gucci, you could still give the luxury experience without the high price too. So it's it's not really about the cost of your handbag. Well, it is about the cost of your handbag as well, but it's more so about the experience. Like, what kind of experience do you want your customer to have? Because you can go into Burlington and get a handbag for $34.99 and be happy with your handbag too. Or do you want to go to Louis Vuitton, where you getting, maybe you getting poured up a glass of champagne, and you know what I'm saying? Like, what kind of, I don't think they pour a glass of champagne, but I'm just saying that's what it's given. Like, that's what it's given. But like, figure out where, like, again, where you see your brand and knowing your product, because your customers will even ask you. Even when I'm in the stores, I'm looking at the sizing, I'm looking at the material, I'm looking at the dimensions and all of that. So it's definitely important to take that into play by knowing your product. Now, next is how to figure out your price and margin. Now, this is how I do it. Now, I know it's a lot of ways to do it, and it's so much, they make it rocket science, but this is just my way. This is all I do. Now, don't come from me like, I don't want the business rules, like, oh, that's not how you do it, this and that, and da 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 da. This is what works for me. Okay, so I'm just sharing with you what works for me. You don't have to do this, but this is what works for me. So, how to figure out your price and margin. So, first thing first, you have to know the price per unit of your product. And once you know the price per unit, I always times it by 2. So that I can make a profit on each handbag that I sell. And if you're thinking about discounts or having sales, you have to take into the account of your profit margins as well. So your customer may be winning because they got your handbag on sale, but your profit margins are maybe suffering because you had a sale. So you have to figure out what type of handbag business that you want your brand to be. Let's go back into, like, are you Burlington or are you Louis Vuitton or Coach or however, I'm giving off Coach, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's more so the experience, like, you could make the experience luxury too, like, so yeah. Next, let's talk about other ways to market. And are you going to be the face of your brand, or are you going to have brand influencers? And how much are you willing to pay them? And how much are you willing to outsource? Are you going to create your brand products design yourself, or are you going to hire a graphic designer for your business to create, for you to create your handbag? I'm sorry. Or are you going to hire a graphic designer for your handbag, for your branding handbag business? So you have to figure out, the different other marketing tools. Are you going to hire brand influencers? How much are you willing to pay them? What are you willing to outsource? Do you need a graphic designer? Those are the things that you definitely have to question for yourself as well as running a business. Also, the question for this year is, can a physical product based business still win this year? The answer is yes, but sometimes it could just be your environment, like me, and the people around you that throws off everything spiritually, mentally, physically, etc. So like I said, I'm going to make a whole podcast episode about that, so I'm not even going to bring that in there. But your mental health, or your mental headspace, not can be an effect of how you run your business too. So yeah, I'll make that a full podcast episode on my mental health podcast. But so overall, running a product based business or a digital product based business is hard, and especially starting over again. I feel like I'm in the same spot I was last year, but this year I feel like I made it worse for myself. So yeah, I'm not sure how I can make it out of this one, because it's a lot of mistakes that I've made, and just sometimes you will start to have a bitter, hateful heart and mean heart and lash out at others, or sometimes you feel like you want to return the same energy that you've been giving out, and honestly, that has been building up a check that I can't cash. If to be I don't want to curse, but to be technical with you, I built the check. I cashed the check that I can't cash. So spiritually, and you could be. I feel like I'm in spiritual debt with God, and I don't know. Whatever. That's just all I'm gonna say with that. So yeah, I'm gonna make a podcast episode about that. Open up a little bit more on my mental health podcast. So stay tuned for that as well. But overall, running a business, a media business, being a content creator, whatever it is that you're trying to do for yourself outside of work, can be very hard and frustrating. And it's like you want to quit, but it will pay off. Even if you have to go through high and low waters, it will be worth it in the end. So the goal is to never give up on your dreams. Also, you're a boss if you decided to act on your dreams, but a bigger boss is someone who has a working job so that they can pour into the business. And I was doing that, but it's like I still know, I had a job. I had my own car. I had my own crib, my own car, my own, I was independent, I was a boss, I was doing me. And then I went left. I was doing right, and then I just went left. And I took a turn for the worse, So, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, that's all I have to say about that one. But, yeah, a bigger boss is someone who has a working job so that you can pour into the business. But God has honestly, and what's crazy is I was literally watching my YouTube video, and right up under it, it recommended YouTube video say God told me to sit still. And I really feel like God has been telling me to sit still, and I was being disobedient by not sitting still. And this is why I got into so much mess and nonsense by not sitting still and listening to other people, and doing things and I feel, and also too, it's yeah, I do feel worthless. I know that my business is not pouring in, making income, and things just been going the way they've been going. And I do take that, I do feel a way about that too, I do. And also like I said, I quit my self-care channel where I was creating shower vlogs, but I quit that channel, and that channel was my bread and butter. And then was like, I'm thinking about, I'm not gonna lie, I'm thinking about giving OnlyFans a try. I don't know, or something, because it's just driving me crazy just sitting here. Like, it's just really driving me crazy. And I know people are saying get a job, get a job, get a job, but what you don't understand is, like, everything is a spiritual sacrifice. And when I was in the mental hospital, everything that you it's just like God had been telling me, like, okay, yeah, this isn't your fault for you being in the mental hospital, and you had no control over it, but you have control over what you do now. So I'm just waiting. That's all I could do is sit and wait. But while I'm sitting and waiting, I'm still building. So it's hard building. Do you know how hard it is to build back up a YouTube channel? I was making over 10K views on my channel, baby. Do you know I was getting my bills paid. I was getting ready to buy a car with my first YouTube channel. I was literally getting ready to go back to Mayfair where I got my car from and drive off the lot with $500 again with a car note. Like, I could have been paying, YouTube would have been paying for my car right now. YouTube would have been, I would have been in my apartment as I speak right now with the income that I was making. And, people were saying, oh, views don't add up to money. Baby, and that's another thing. I never told YouTube or social media, and I'm still not to this day, like, if my YouTube channel was to blow up again, I would never talk about the income that I make on YouTube. Like, I would never talk about how much YouTube paid me and this and that or whatever. Now, I might make a YouTube video about my analytics, because that's software. And, like, but I'm not going to give out personal information. But like I said, like, I know for myself what YouTube did for me. And this is why I still believe in YouTube, because if I could do it once, I could do it again. So, but my heart wasn't set right on it. Like, my heart, like, it just wasn't set. I don't know, like, I want to do things for God, and if it's not for God, then, and I'm already in hot water with God. So it's just like, to make things worse, I don't want to be a Jezebel or a whore, or kind of like, you know what I'm saying? But they're making it bad. But we as black people taught white people how to wash up. They didn't know proper hygiene and all this. I just thought I was doing my self-care. But, and I didn't know that my mom, I didn't know people would be sharing my videos to different people. It's just a lot for a mockery business. So now that I'm making all this informational videos, now y'all can't say that I'm stupid. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm doing. I have proof that I'm in my right mind, and I'm actually teaching you how to run a business too. Like, and I have the skills. I went to a business school as well too. So I have some college experience too. So yeah, like, you gotta stop letting people, like, play with your mind and make you feel less of yourself than when you know you're more and capable of more. So yeah. Also, a few things too. We're done with the business. So yeah, so basically, just a mini recap, like, overall things that I would do differently, is, I would have started off small in the beginning, instead of purchasing all this inventory up front. Also, I would, the next thing I would have done is investing in lower cost software tools like Big Cartel, then Shopify. We did with over a little bit about LLC, legalizing the business, creating a consistent full brand mood board and brand kit for your business to stay consistent with your branding throughout, to build a know, like, and trust factor. Also, building an engaged audience to build the low, like, and trust factor. So taking your audience from cold, warm to hot and ready to buy, basically. I need to write that down too. Also, figuring out your target audience, what's your unique selling proposition, what's your audience like and don't like. Where do they shop at, what type of income are they making, figuring out your pricing margins, knowing your product, how to figure out your pricing margin my own way. Hey, do what's work for you. I'm not gonna do A B C D E F G times this and that, and you divide this by this to get this and that and all that. Hey, I keep it simple. The better and simple your business is, the more that you can operate your business. So I mean, hey, this is just what work for me. As long as I know the price per unit of my product, then I know what to do from there. So that's just how I do it. I know it's a lot of ways to break down profit margins, and I know it's a lot of YouTube videos out there and podcasts about profit margins and all this other stuff, but I'm like, I don't have time for that. I'm not going to do no calculator every time. No, I want to go ahead and make my way, and it was working for me when I first started. So yeah. Other things, are you going to be the face of your brand? Are you going to hire brand influencers? Are you going to hire a graphic designer to create your branding for you or marketing materials for you? We talked a little bit about spiritual things, that a little personal things. Also, overall, running a business, media business, anything that you do is going to be hard, but it's going to be worth it in the end. So we talked about you're being a boss, and yeah, so I also started over again with my YouTube channel, this time in the graphic design field in the software industry, and I'm not sure if people are still interested in that content. It seems like the only thing that was working for me was shower content, but I'm still going to go and proceed with this business software content because I know it does work, because I've seen a lot of other channels that grew their business their YouTube channel with graphic design. So I want to become a graphic designer for YouTube, or done for you products, and I will have Canva templates on my website and just really building. So yeah. So stay tuned in for how to start a handbag business, my own 10-step formula checklist for starting your handbag business, how to start a digital product business, and how to start a self-care YouTube channel. So the goal is to stay consistent and work and upload much faster. So I'm on all social media platforms as well. Please check out my YouTube channel as well. On there, we created a playlist, a YouTube graphic design playlist on our YouTube channel. So far, we have how to create your own YouTube banner in Canva, how to create your own YouTube intro in Canva, and how to add music to your YouTube channel using SoundCloud. And all the links to my YouTube channel will be in the show notes below. Thank you so much for tuning into today's podcast episode, and I'll see you till next time. All right, later.